All right, guys, welcome back to Open Mat Chronicles. 1865 Rod here. We're coming back at you guys once again. And as always, we got my man Schaefer in the house.
What's up, everybody? Schaefer's in the house. Man, I think we got something good to talk about today. We were sitting here, we were messing with the studio, kind of rearranging some stuff, and we were like, yo, we're here, man. Let's talk about something. And you want to tell them what we came up with?
Yeah, so like we're coming off the heels of the RJ Suave competition, right? We all went there to watch our boy Oleg. Shout out to Oleg, he did a good job winning that thing. And then I started thinking about like it's gonna come up in jiu-jitsu. There's a certain amount of like pressure to compete. And so we're gonna just talk about that, about the people that either want to compete, like who are you competing for essentially? Right? There's only three, in my opinion, and you can touch this here, but in my opinion, you're either competing for yourself, hopefully, which would be the best outcome, or maybe fellow students pressuring you to compete, or maybe your coach pressuring you to compete.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything else. Is there?
Yeah, right. I made the joke that some people were like, "Oh, I'm doing this for my country and for honor, God, country." Like, those are possibilities, but then you're usually talking about like Olympians, right? Then you're talking about like legit something that's so big that your country is the one paying for all your bills,
I remember Max Schmeling. Who's the guy that our guy fought Max Schmeling? It was during the freaking Nazi war. Who was the boxer?
Not Joe Louis.
He was Joe Louis.
Yeah, Joe Louis.
Yeah,
that
was awesome.
Yeah,
so
right.
The whole country get behind it. You need to go fight and beat that freaking Nazi.
Correct, and that's different. Yeah, exactly. You got to put the paws on them. But that's totally different than going to your local Arte Suave or your Naga tournament out at the Jersey Shore, which I like, man. Naga tournaments at the Jersey Shore, that was the shit back in the day. But hell, it's probably just the shit still, but I don't live in New Jersey anymore. Either it's a very internal motivator, or like we had mentioned before, it might be that outside pressure that's like, yo, you gotta do this. You gotta do this to see where you stand.
Oh, bro, you're gonna get that pressure. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if it seems like it's toned down a lot now. But like when I was coming up, man, it was always like, you gotta compete. Like, you're gonna get that. I think this podcast may be geared more towards like white belts or blue belts. Like
I think
lower
so.
belts, right? That are kind of finding their footing in it.
Yeah.
Because maybe it is good to push them a little bit, because what if a guy's really good, and he doesn't really know it,
Right. Yeah, you're right, because
like Oleg, I didn't talk him into it, but I was like, saying,
nah.
I definitely didn't talk him into it, but I was saying, I brought it to his attention. Hey, Oleg, there's a RJ Suave competition. It's one fight. I just brought it to his attention, and he was like excited. He goes, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do it," because he did one before.
Yes.
And now he's like, now he's got a lot better, obviously. So he wanted to do it.
He wanted to test his might.
Yeah, it's a pressure. You got to compete. It's like
nah.
So, but if you're a lower belt, you're going to get that. Depending on the school, like I said, we used to get that a lot.
For sure.
And I just think, like, why are you competing really?
What's your motivation, right? So it's funny because we kind of touched on it, and we had a guy in our comments, and he was like, he had a really good breakdown, and I commended him for it. I was like, dude, you gave a really good breakdown on why to compete, why not to compete, and he was talking about if you really just want to kind of see how you do, like it's a pressure test, right? Yeah. It's like if he made the mention of, well, what if you are constantly getting stuck in somebody's half, like if you're in half guard, or he's got side mount on you, right? And you just can't get out, right? And especially if you're doing it in a competition, you can go, holy shit, I really need to work on these things, because maybe who you're rolling with at the gym might be giving you a little bit of leeway, giving you a little bit of flexibility. We always say, right, or he knows your game. We say go at 70%. What about that guy you never met who's going to go 100% on your ass? Okay,
That's why it changed right there. Because check it out. Okay, so when I was coming up, you're talking like what, 2010, 2011, right around there, bro. We were trying to kill each other every roll. That was the culture back then. It was like, that's why they say light roll rock. But I wasn't the only one.
You were not, dude. Everybody.
I didn't just invent that.
Facts.
I learned from somebody.
Facts.
You know who you are.
No, you're right, because dude, we used to fight super hard. We used to call it Hassett loving. We used to really put pain on each other. Like we did. And I don't know when that 70% shit kicked in.
It started about maybe like 5 years ago, right?
I think it kicked in for me when I started fucking having all these pains and aches and pains and shit. I was like, damn. I was like, I'm hurt all the times. Let's bring it to 70%. I don't know.
Is it just us that now we're adapting to it?
It could be. It could just be as you get older and you're all beat up and broken up and you've been doing jiu-jitsu for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15, 20 years. You're like, son of a bitch.
Here's what it could be too. Like you said, maybe some of the people that have been with us for a long time, we're getting older and we are just organically slowing down. And so check it out, all the new people that come in,
they're fucking hot to trot,
they're
dude.
learning from us. They're saying, oh, wait, we got to chill out.
Well, but we tell them to go 70%, but they don't go 70%.
But back in the day, everybody was young.
Yes.
Everybody was going 100%. Like, remember, Trevor was like 20-something years old.
Right.
Julio was like, 20-something years old. All these guys are in their 20s. Rex, all these guys, they were all smashing on everybody, right?
For sure.
And that's just the culture. That's the way it was.
It was tough. It was survival of the fittest.
Well, there was no like, hey, let's just work together. Let's train a little bit. I'll let you do a little bit. Bro, it was none of that.
But also, I think you had less of a pool to draw from, though. You had less black belts. You had less people who were around to tell you, slow the fuck down, just relax. You were all kind of learning together, right? And if you're learning together, like, think about this, right? You get a bunch of jokers who go and learn jiu-jitsu in their garage, right? So now they're like, hey man, let's get some YouTube videos. Let's get the Gracie combatives and let's try all this shit in our garage on some freaking mats that we bought, right? Well, they have no real formal instruction, so they're fucking fighting each other kind of hard, right? And
You get that magazine, right?
yeah, Jiu-Jitsu or Black Belt magazine. Black Belt magazine, yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, that was the shit back in the day. It's probably still the shit. I don't buy it, but it's still probably the shit. So you got these jokers out here, and they're doing the damn thing. And you're right. It's like, how do you tell them to slow down? And back in the day, okay, great example. When I started, John was a purple belt, right? He was a purple, yeah. So he was a purple belt, and so he was already in his hungry stage, right? Yeah. He's like, fuck yeah, let's get it. Yeah. But he was also a teacher, so he tried to kind of temper it. But, dude, I remember plenty of times getting an Ezekiel choke with the knuckles getting dumped into the jawline, and it's like, is this supposed to feel like this? It was rough, dude.
Well, also, too, like, if you're in your 20s, right, especially you go back a decade when jiu-jitsu wasn't as, popular. It was still popular, but it wasn't the way it is now. It's
for sure.
Up now.
Oh, yeah.
So you have less competitors, less competitions, and you're young and, like, you're freaking like a young bull, right? You're like,
right.
You don't know if you're going to be the next guy, because right now, like,
it was still open.
Very well be the next guy.
Yeah.
You would need to. Maybe I'm going to go compete to see if I am that guy, right?
That's very true.
So things have changed a lot. Like for me, I started older. I was already in my late 40s when I started jiu-jitsu. So it's like I already knew like I knew where I stood in the pecking order. Like
you're not going to be the top of the world. You're not going to be the top cream of the crop guy.
That window is long closed by
for sure.
20 years, right?
And now that window closes faster. It closes much faster.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's a really good perspective on it because like you had these guys, nobody really was known, right? You'd have the guys in the UFC and they were like the standouts, and you would think, oh, this guy in the UFC must be the best there is in jiu-jitsu, but in reality, he wasn't. He was just the best guy that showed up from this particular school and went and put it into MMA. Yeah. Whereas there's probably other guys who tapped him out regularly, right? So you're right. The proving ground can be competition. Yeah. It can be competition because it takes you out of your own school. It takes you and it puts you in a position where you're dealing with unknown factors. Okay. You're dealing with fight styles that you may have never have come up against before, right?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Right. Okay, so for the guy that's like let's say he's a white belt, and I don't even know if they do pressure you. Maybe they do, depending on the school.
I don't know. Like that's where people. So this was one of those things where we said we're looking for people's input because we do want to know. Like, does your school, and be honest, does your school pressure its students to go in and to compete, or is it a laissez-faire, right? Oh, only Randy's school, yeah. Or do you have a school that's like really, really laid back, and they're like, hey, man, if you want to do it, do it. We'll support you, no problem. Because I think some schools are like, no, you got to do it. You got to compete. You got to compete to get promoted, right?
Oh yeah.
And I think that's rough, dude. I would not want to have my promotion based on if I do or do not compete, because again, this is a martial art, right? What if under the competition pressure, you're not great, right? But then if you're attacked in the alley, you're fine because you're like, oh shit, this is life or death. I'm kicking it in.
Exactly.
In the competition, you're like, well, this is not life and death. It's just I'm walking around with the bubble guts because I'm like nervous as hell, and I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna perform to the degree? Are you gonna disagree? Yeah, exactly, right. So, yeah, tell us if you think. Tell us a couple things. One, do you feel that your first couple of competitions if you ever been any, were they pressured on you? Like, did somebody pressure you to do it? Two, do you feel that you've pressured other people to compete, right? Or three, was it like, hey, everybody just kind of, hey, do whatever you feel, no big deal. And then lastly, and then this is what we were talking about earlier too, if you had to do a percentage guess, right? What percentage, take 100 people that do jiu-jitsu, what percentage do you think compete regularly? And when I say regularly, 3 times a year. Like, which is crazy. That's not a lot.
I'm gonna say like 10%.
Dude, I think maybe 10%. And I know we've kind of talked about this before. I think we talked about this before. There's no way that competition is the driving force behind jiu-jitsu. Yeah. It's just not, right? Because the vast majority of people don't compete. They're hobbyists, right? Hell, the vast majority of people who do compete are hobbyists.
Yeah, because they compete like you said, a
couple times a year. It's not a profession, right?
Exactly.
So,
but sometimes they frame it to where, like, okay, you do a competition once or twice a year, like that's like totally.
Right. You're like, oh shit, he's the best. Yeah. It's like, dude.
Like, what is the outcome that's gonna like?
I know, right?
You have to compete. Okay, for what? You have to compete if you're going to compete. Like, if you want to be a competitor, then you have to compete. To get good at competition.
That's for sure.
Obvious. Why do you have to compete? So that's kind of like my argument for these guys, like, to not let them get pressured. Because the first thing is you do the one, it won't stop. Yo, dude, you haven't competed in like 6 months.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Man, you've only done 2 this year. What are you gonna do?
Why did you do 3? Why didn't you do 4?
Like, so once you succumb to that pressure, then you'll fold all the time.
You're right. So basically, if you're not doing it for some intrinsic freaking reason, you'll never please other people. Yeah. Because if, like you said, if you did good in this one, go do that one. You did good in that one, go do this other one. And then what happens when they start tying your promotions to it? It's like, fuck. So now, are you sandbagging? I was on a forum. I was in a BJJ forum, and someone was like, they posted a meme. They were like, oh, this is for all the guys who complain, or all the coaches or something like that, who are complaining that the other team is sandbagging. They were like, why don't you just do better, or make your jiu-jitsu better, or some shit like that. Look, man, some motherfuckers sandbag. Like, some people, if your blue belt can regularly beat most black belts, is he a blue belt? It's like, and I know we've talked about that shit, but I mean, sandbagging is a real thing. Oh, yeah. It's a real thing. But I saw that meme and I was like, oh, this motherfucker.
If you're a blue belt, if your competitor, the guy you're fighting, comes out with a freaking Brazilian flag on him, screaming, I think he's done this a few times. Probably. Like, here's the cool thing.
That might be a good indicator.
Legitimately a hobbyist.
For sure.
Our guy, he won, dude.
Dude,
Mauled him. He won handedly, and he trains like 3 days a week, sometimes 2 days a week. Like, that's why I said, so this is what I meant when I said, I didn't mean to say that. I want to clarify what I said. I didn't talk him into it. What I said was,
no.
He mentioned him, and I said, Ole,
you should do it.
Got this, bro. Like, because I roll with him, man. I know how tough he is. I mean, man, I can't see a blue belt beating you, bro.
Right. Unless he's a competition blue belt who's really a purple, brown, black belt.
Yeah, that's all they do for a living.
Right.
If you get a hobbyist like you, 150 pounds just like you, bro, he's not going to win. There's just no...
Agreed.
Right. And he actually fought a guy that was more of a competitor,
Yeah. So what do you do? Like, so...
So that's the first thing. Is it really like... Okay, so if your goal is to see, like, I want to see how I stack up, are you really stacking up against a guy that's like, is he a sandbagger or is he a guy that's legitimately in your bracket? You know, so that's the first thing. There's no way to really tell.
There's no way to tell. There's no way to actually to really quantify it because all of this is subjective, right?
You'd have to become a competitor and train like IBJJF.
Correct.
And then you can say, hey man, I won like 8 matches out of 10. Okay, that would make sense, right?
Yeah, and that's going to be rough. Then you become the full-on competitor.
Yeah.
Right.
So you beat some guys that were sandbagging probably, and you probably beat some guys that were legitimately your belt. You know, so you've got a whole spectrum, right? But if you just do one, like you don't know, like Oleg got like unlucky in the sense that like he beat the guy easily, but he got a guy that was like full-on competitor, man.
Right, because because fair enough. What if you throw him against another guy? Maybe Oleg is the outlier, right?
Outlier, yeah.
So what happens when you throw him against a guy who's got the same amount of time, but is just a regular guy, just a regular.
Mauled him even worse.
No. I'm saying flip it. Let's say it wasn't Oleg.
Oh, you mean just
Let's say we
regular guy?
dropped in just like the regular guy who's just training same amount of time, but doesn't have the same gifts, right? Doesn't have the same gifts, and then he gets dropped in against that competitor.
He walks away thinking, man, I'm not blue belt.
Right, you know. So first of all, I'm realizing this too. I do believe, sir, we are the voice of the hobbyist jiu-jitsu practitioner. I'm like, holy shit. It's like, how many freaking times has hobbyists come out of our mouths over the last year? A whole damn lot, right? But maybe we needed a voice. Maybe hobbyists needed a voice.
The voice, man, because competitors already have it.
Yeah, man, you guys got it. We know.
They get all the glory.
You competitors are bad motherfuckers, right? You get it. We wish we could be you. Because I know we mentioned this. Deep down inside, right? Every hobbyist wishes that they could be the best, right? They wish they could fucking be like, yo, I went to this place or that place, beat everybody's ass. So yeah, is it a little jealousy? Probably, you know. I got enough humility to say, fuck yeah, dude. I wish I was in better shape. I wish I was younger. I wish I was this. I wish I was that. Sure.
Wish in one hand.
Yeah, I'll say it. I know you're real good on not cursing too much. You put wish in one hand and you put shit in the other and see which one fills up first. I promise you it won't be the wish hand, right? It's like, dude, we still got to speak for the hobbyists, though. I think we're doing good.
I do get it, because I think if I was in my 20s, I'd be all about it, dude. I would love it. It looks fun. It looks hella fun, dude.
So
I'll say that. But here's the thing, like
I never fucking got into that though. Like I was never the competitive kind of guy. You know what I used to compete in? I used to compete in Dungeons and Dragons, right? I used to fucking, I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna roll this motherfucking 20, wow, and I get a natural 20 and I'd freaking kill the bad guy, but but I was never like, oh, I gotta sports harder. Like that wasn't my shit.
Like me, it's like I said, I was already late 40s, so I was like an older guy starting. That's kind of rough starting. You know, you're gonna learn slower, because I learned slower because being older, one of the things that's gonna affect you is like your mobility is not gonna be as good as like a guy who's like 22.
So you have to adjust.
Gotta adjust. So,
Yeah.
But I was adjusting everything because I didn't know jiu-jitsu, so it took me longer to get, to move up the ranks. So
Right.
I kind of knew where I was. I knew, like, when I was a blue belt, like, I was just an average blue belt. I wasn't, like, lighting the world on fire.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like someone like Oleg was way better than me at blue belt than me, a
Dude,
blue belt.
I say that regularly. I'm like,
He would have mauled me, dude. So, like,
he would have beat me the fuck up.
Like, I knew my place in the pecking order just because I was around a lot of young, hungry guys.
Right.
It's like, I didn't need to, like, oh, I wonder how good I am. Let me go compete against some guy like my own age. Number one, there weren't a lot of guys my age right then. It's
True.
like, I already know, like, I'm okay, dude. I'm all right. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't really start feeling really kind of like I was pretty good until about late purple belt. Late
Yeah.
purple belt,
Yeah.
brown belt, I was on it, dude.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, brown belt, you're fucking golden, dude. You're
And
fine.
actually, that's a funny time. That's the one time I signed up for that fight to win, and that's right before COVID shut down.
Hell
Because I
yeah.
felt like, hey man, maybe I'm kind of good. Let me see how I do against somebody my age. I was still kind of hungry because I just want to try it out.
Well, motherfuckers are already talking about, hey, Rod, come on, man, go do something. Go do something right now.
I just don't have.
I
zero
know.
Not even an ounce of it. It's like, for me, it's like, you know what it's equivalent to? You know when you go to the clubs and you're
Right.
like 22, 23, the clubs are fun. You're out there dancing.
Hell yeah.
They're like, so, hey, Ron, let's go to the club.
Hell
And I'm
yeah.
like, so like, that's not interesting.
You ain't feeling like it. You just don't want to do it anymore.
Younger, you do all that stuff.
Yeah, facts. Look, I'm not beat for no damn
I
clubs.
don't even want to fight somebody my age. It's like I'm pretty sure I would do fine, but like, so I'd be the old guy. There's no winning, right?
Well, there is winning. You'll be the king of the old guys.
King of the old guys.
And I guess fuck is that the shit you want to be, right? Damn.
But that's just me personally. But like,
No,
this is
that's
not about me.
legit.
This is about like maybe newer, younger, white belts.
Fair enough.
Coming up in the sport.
So wait a minute. Let's get perspective on this. What if the new, younger white belt is in his 50s?
If you want to do it for you, that's the only way to. Here's my thing. Don't let them pressure you into doing it because it's never going to go away. Don't let your coach pressure you into doing it because that's never going to go away because you just do more and more and more and more and more.
You know how hard it is to say no to your coach? Dude, for some people it's easy, but for a lot of people, it's weird. Like, fuck, I was about to say a lot of people are sheep. Wait, did I just say it? Yeah, a lot of people are they're very sheepish, and they have a hard time saying no to an authority figure. It's actually really difficult for a lot of people.
Unfortunately, Gus never pressured me.
Not at all.
He would
John never pressured us. Yeah, he never pressured us.
He would do that, and you'd drop a little thing. Oh, okay.
Never pressured us, but was there for the guys who wanted it. Guys who wanted it, he was like, fuck yeah, watch this. And he put in work.
Okay, so like to go back to the Oleg thing, it's like, yeah, like I said, Oleg, I let him know that I had 100% confidence in him winning, not only doing this match, but winning this match.
Hell yeah.
Completely. And then I trained with him like every time he was there. We would train, we'd bring the gi, we'd work on stuff, we'd work on guard pulls, we'd work on guard passing. Because I don't like to roll that hard anymore, but I would start bringing it to Oleg, dude. I said, hey man, I gotta try, right?
Yeah.
Dude, like I was the one that warming him up back there. I was on the mats. Like I put a lot of invested into make sure.
Damn right, dude.
I wanted to win, and I got the other school. It wasn't just me. All of our students came together and helped Oleg.
I'm telling you this. Get ready to freaking start giving more of your time. Because you're going to get other people now like, hey, Rod, can you coach me too? Hey, Rod, can you come to my competition? Yo, can you get me? Yeah, dude. You did good.
I learned some Romanian.
So that means you're going to learn every fucking language of every one of our international students. They're going to show up, and they're going to be like, konnichiwa, Rod. I was like, hey, can you teach me now? And it's like, yep, you're going to have to learn a lot. I'm going to buy you a copy of Rosetta Stone.
No, we got it on the phone now.
Oh, that's true. You're right. Yeah, my phone is gangster. I can have my shit do all kinds of translations.
So what were you at? Okay, so you're asking me about like the new white belts coming up, a 50-year-old white belt. That's a good question, man. When I say to compete, I would say if you wanted to, man. So it's a personal thing, man. Let's say this 50-year-old dude wanted to see, like, number one, I'll tell him the realities. You ain't gonna be nobody, bro, probably. Like, I won't say like that.
You're gonna say, holy shit. You ain't gonna be shit.
Right now, and you're a white belt, you're not gonna be the king. No one in New Jersey is going to even know who you are, bro. I don't care if you're number one white belt in the world. They won't even know. Okay, who's the number one white belt in the world right now, bro? Or let's go blue belt.
I know. We talked about this.
No, let's go brown belt.
Nobody fucking knows, and no one cares.
No, I'm still jealous, you guys, but still. we know our local heroes.
Yes.
Now, if you ask me like who's good out here, I can shout out a bunch of names.
For sure. Yes.
Every belt rank.
Absolutely.
So I would say keep that in mind if you're the 50-year-old white belt trying to, don't think that you're going to go in there and win a gold and whatever, and people are going to think, oh my God, you're a bad, like, bro, yeah.
See, and now,
and if you lose, no one cares.
And I was about to, that was the other part. But damn, how do you get motivated if no one cares?
He might want to do it for internal reasons.
And that comes back to it. Yes, it has to be for yourself, right? Okay. Because if you're not doing it for yourself, and the fact of the matter is no one really fucking cares, then what are you doing it for? Like,
it's just fun. Some people think it's fun.
Now, if it's fun, keep doing it.
You know what?
Keep doing it if it's fun. Okay. That's for sure.
They kind of have this. I think all sports have that. So I'm into like, road racing and stuff like
Hell
that.
Yeah.
Like Sears Point, Infinity Raceway, whatever. Have an old Porsche.
Yeah.
Shout out to old Porsches.
Dude, your Porsche is nice as shit, dude.
Thanks, man. Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah.
So I used to it's more of like just a street car, take it out.
Yeah.
I did, like, when you go in those Porsche clubs,
right?
They pressure you, you need to take this on the track, you need to race it, blah, blah, blah.
Same shit.
So
okay.
After years, man, I gotta do this, man. I'm in this Porsche. All right, man. So I took it around first it's autocross.
Right.
I'm like, okay, cool, I did that a few times. It was okay. It's like, all right, it was kind of fun. Like, no, you need to take it out like serious point.
So you can't win. You can't win. Like no matter what you do.
Freaking helmet. Now it's like
right now you're wearing a fucking Nomax suit and shit like that.
Dude, honestly, it was terrible. I didn't like it at all because
really?
Number one, it was really expensive to do, and the whole time it takes so much concentration on that.
That you're not enjoying yourself.
You're not enjoying yourself. It was like you're gonna wreck this expensive car. You can wipe out. You're holding the people up. There's certain ways. You can't just pass everybody. It's like,
right.
It was like a little mini competition for cars, and it was terrible. I didn't enjoy it at all. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. This is not.
And that shit feels like a job.
It was like a job.
See, fuck that, man. If you're doing jujitsu and you're not earning money for it, it's not your fucking job. You should just be enjoying this.
You should be enjoying it.
If you're not enjoying jujitsu, and I'll go a step further, fuck it. If you're not enjoying jujitsu because where you're at, fucking leave. Like you should be comfortable, right? Now I always say get comfortable being uncomfortable, but when I say get comfortable being uncomfortable, I'm talking get comfortable when a guy has his knee in the belly and when a guy's like mushing your face or so. Yeah. I don't mean mentally. You shouldn't be anywhere where mentally you're like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with this place? Why are these guys acting like this? Why are they on me like this? Why do I feel like fucking bothered when I come in, or why does it like I hesitate to come in because I really don't want to be there? Fucking leave.
Well, here's their argument too. They would say, well, you know that feeling you get like when you sign up and you're on nerves, like see. Here's the funny thing: when I signed up for the fight, I didn't care. I was like,
right.
And the COVID shut down. But here's the funny thing though. They'll say that's good for you, man. No, you need to get that for jiu-jitsu. Like you have to have that feeling, that sweat.
Nah, dude.
So what do you think about that?
If you're walking around and you're anxious and shit, and your fucking stomach's hurting and shit, that's crazy. Why the fuck would you subject? Yeah, dude. Okay.
I didn't.
But this might be me speaking from a place of ignorance. I can admit that, right? Yeah, I can admit that. Maybe that moves you, right? That drives you, that moves you. You like that shit. That's cool, man. But there's also guys that will pay for a chick to like beat them with a motherfucking whip and some chains and shit. Like, step on them with some fucking spiked heels. So if that's your thing, cool.
Do you think it's this sort of okay? Let's say you have a guy that's thinking about getting into competition.
Yeah.
Like he knows that's a path he's going to go on.
Okay.
For that guy, that's just par for the course. So he's going to keep doing them, and then I got the little butterflies. And then
Right.
Less and less and less. So I understand that. But if you're just a guy that like, why would you want to subject yourself to that if you don't plan on doing it, competing on a regular basis? Just like does it build any kind of character? Like that's what they're
here. Okay.
Like it builds some internal strength. And then, like, you don't know how you're going to react, until you get a competitor coming at you full force. Then here's my argument, Dad. Go get a street fight.
Facts. Right. You can always say, well, how do you know your jiu-jitsu is going to work on the streets unless you go fight a motherfucker at a bar? Yeah. So.
Unless you jiu-jitsu, get in a street fight. And I would never say that.
So it's an argument. Their argument has validity to a degree. It makes sense, but what you point out trumps that shit because it's like, well, I could say that about anything. Yeah. I'm like, hey man, how you gonna know your fucking disarms work until a motherfucker tries to stick you up? How you gonna know this works until this? How you gonna know that works? So yes, there's a limit to this shit, right? And you have to find your comfort zone because my comfort zone was I went to some competitions, I did okay, and I was like, I don't like it. Like I legit don't like it because
there's something wrong with you. You have to like.
I don't think I was nervous. I wasn't like super nervous because I had my family with me. I had my friends with me. They all came, and it was kind of, it was cool. I knew that I wasn't going to make this my job. I had already done so many other things in my life where I was like, this is just something I'm trying.
Okay.
And it didn't like blow my mind to where I was like, I got to do this again and again and again. So I didn't.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let's say you could erase that experience. Did that change anything in your jiu-jitsu coming up forward? Here it is, 20-something years.
No. I will tell you for a fact.
Oh man, you gotta compete, otherwise you're gonna be incomplete or something. They make it sound like you're.
Here's what I got out of that experience. I got some cool pictures, and I'm going to add them to this podcast. I'm gonna drop the pictures I had in the pod just to show, because that was when I first started. I think I was like 1 or 2 stripe white belt. I had some cool patches that I put on. Right, I had some cool patches that I put on my gi because my first gi, it was a judo gi, and then I dyed it purple and I fucking rocked the gold under it. Well, this one, I bought another one just for this. I put the Hassett logo on the back. I put my fraternity. I put a bulldog at the bottom. It was just cool. It was something fun, and I did have fun, but it wasn't. Here you go.
Was there any one thing that happened during that event?
No, not at all.
Shaped your...
Nothing. I saw. I think I met Steve Maxwell, dude out of Pennsylvania. He's that dude out there.
Wait,
no relation.
I was gonna say because we just saw Terry Maxwell.
No relation to Terry Maxwell.
We're gonna get him on
Yeah,
the
hell yeah.
Actually,
I saw him. I saw him the other day.
Coming up with some OGs.
Yeah, it was funny because every time I see Terry Maxwell, I go, "You sure there's no relation, man? You sure you're not related to that guy out there? I bet you they are. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna ask John. I'm like, hey man, you got any fucking people that live out in California? But anyway, there was nothing that I gained from it that shaped my jiu-jitsu. It was or how about this? Maybe it did, but it wasn't so significant that I can understand how the loss section of that, like if that were pulled out, I can't see how that would made me so much different, right? Like I said, I had a good time because my cousins were there. I had some friends there. We had some fun, got some cool pictures, had a drink afterwards. But like, it didn't motivate me to go do it over and over and over and over again. Because again, my jiu-jitsu is for fucking self-defense. Like, I know that I am very capable with the self-defense stuff. So everything else is now just kind of fun.
It was fun. I'm going to make it star.
Right? You're violent, Rod. You're violent. No, I'm just like, that's crazy. You know what? You know what's funny? You've armbarred. You've actually physically gotten to altercations and used jiu-jitsu. I've used the other part of jiu-jitsu, the suave part, the gentle art, and I fucking avoided a lot of fights. I do. Like I remember, I've said it several times when I'm just like, I'm good, dude, and I just hit him with that verbal fucking jiu-jitsu, and I don't fight the guy. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not as fun. Maybe it's not. Sometimes, look, man, I know some people who like to fight, and I don't mean in a ring and shit. I mean they'll catch a motherfucker at a bar and put the beaters on them. You know what I mean? And I'm like, stop! You're too old for this. You in your fucking 40s now. Why are you punching motherfuckers in your face? Yeah, why are you bar fighting in your 40s? But hey, fuck, dude. Whatever fucking floats your boat, I guess. You know, just don't go to jail over it. God. Anyway, hold on. Did we get what the fuck we wanted to say done? Like,
we were talking about like
okay.
We went on a tangent. We were talking about the 50-year-old guy.
Yeah.
You know, he wanted to. What's his reason for training?
Shit. So if we go 50, what about 15? What about the youngins?
See, now they have more of a, I think, a legitimate reason to compete because maybe at that age, they might be a little the next freaking Mutala or Musumeci. You don't know, right?
There we go.
Like if you're already 40-something, you ain't gonna be that. That's my point.
You really should.
You should do it.
Look to see the potential for our youth.
Unless the kid sucks, and he's no. But no. Here's the thing. Like I would. Like,
fucking me.
The reason I was telling Oleg is Oleg is really good. I'm like, man, I'm really curious to see. Like, I know you'll do well, bro. But if Oleg was just an average blue belt, I wouldn't be like, hey man.
You wouldn't be as invested?
No. I know. I'd be yes, I would.
Okay, I'm about to say, don't say that, dude.
No, what I'm saying is, I wouldn't be as internally like.
You wouldn't have pushed. You wouldn't have pushed as hard.
Yeah, because like I
Fair
knew
enough.
Oleg would do really well. I knew he'd do well. Right?
Same here.
Just like we knew.
We actually really
was gonna be
did.
really- we knew
Yeah.
Oleg was gonna be good, right?
Damn, maybe we should be like fucking Don King. Yo, we should grow our fucking hair out. Get our just get a fucking Don King wig though. Dude, we should do our next podcast with Don King wigs and just be like, only in America.
Big old Afro wig. I put the face
Fuck yeah, dude.
Remember the with the fist?
Absolutely. The pick. My mom used to wear that. My mom used to wear that.
Picture. I'll show you.
Yeah, fucking send it to me. I'll put it in there.
Oh, yeah.
Put it in there. Yo, my mom used to. I remember I saw her, like, she had the cool graduation pics, giant afro. Her, my aunts, my uncle, everybody.
They said a picture. Oh, he is part black.
Only the good parts. Holy shit. So, yes, we've got some good guys. And now I will say this, I do believe that after people are seeing the success that Oleg had, I think we're going to get more guys that jump in. I think we're going to get more guys from our school to jump in because they're like, dude, I do really well against Oleg.
Exactly.
They're like, I can do this. They fucking do. Now, listen, Oleg still, he puts a hurting on people. But he doesn't walk across everybody, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So these guys that aren't just getting walked, they're going to be like, fuck yeah, I can do this shit.
A couple of our blue belts are really good.
Dude, look, I was about to call motherfucker out, but I don't want to pressure anybody because I don't want to pressure anybody. Yeah, I know. I'm like, fuck that, you need to compete. Randy, you were right all along.
Okay, so here's my thing. There's merit in it. If you see a guy with exceptional potential, and he's on the younger side, and he's a little froggy too, yeah. Or if there's a guy that let's say he rolls too crazy, like he need to channel that energy, bro.
The young boy that comes to the adult class.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Shit, all right, let's talk offline.
I know you're talking about.
He needs to. We need to make him fight. We need to make. Oh. No, dude, but he should still fight right now.
Yeah, he's a guy that needs to get that out.
Damn.
I know you're talking about.
I know you know.
Tough little kid.
Fuck yeah, he's tough, dude. All right. Anyway, so let's forget.
Now, what about
I got to sneeze so bad, but I'm not going to sneeze. I thought I was going to, but now that I said it, it's gone. Shit.
This always made me laugh, even as a white belt when I didn't really understand jiu-jitsu and the culture.
Right.
I'd see a guy, because I might have been there for a year, I had a couple stripes.
Yeah.
I'd see a guy come in off the street. He might be there a month. He's like, yeah, I'm getting around to compete. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Yo, I'm going to the UFC. He's like, so listen, man, I've been, like I got like 200 street fights under my belt, and I'm just gonna get a little bit of this jiu-jitsu so I can stand up in case somebody tries to hug me and wrestle me and some shit.
I'll get guys who they never did anything, nothing. They just came in to do jiu-jitsu, right?
And they just want to fucking compete immediately?
Like, yeah, I'm really excited to do this competition coming up, and I'm like,
well, no.
Like they just started and they want to compete.
But that's their motivation.
Okay, that's cool. But it seems like they
don't know shit.
They don't know anything. Yes, like what are you really doing? You're just gonna be like
they're gonna flail around and just fucking sweat on each other.
At least get some fundamentals down so you can say, okay, here's my toolkit. I got some close guard. I got a couple, maybe a little armbar or whatever.
I mean, that's the strategic path. That's the strategic path to walk if you want to do that. But like, you're right.
It just seems like, I don't know, to me it always seemed kind of arrogant. Like, it would be like if I never did basketball in my life and I started playing.
I need to play that LeBron James guy.
Yeah. I'm going to go to local college and call these guys out and try to play them. Like, who does that?
Yeah, it is crazy. I almost said who does it, but I'm glad I didn't. I don't want to be. I don't want to be bad.
The Dunning-Kruger effect.
Dunning-fucking-Kruger effect. Absolutely. You think you're smarter than you actually are.
You think you're better.
You think you're better than you actually are, and a lot of people fucking fall into that. Damn.
You know what's funny? They did a survey on men. They said the average guy thinks that he's like an above-average fighter.
Fuck yeah. Wait, what they say? Remember when Brian was here? He's like, that dude, he's like, I see red, and then bodies drop. Yeah. It's like, Brian was like, no, dude, you see red, you fight this guy, then you see black, because you're fucking unconscious. Yeah. I was like, yeah, that's...
the blood.
Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah, most people think they can fight a lot better than they actually can.
You throw a little alcohol in there, then it's on, dude.
Hey, dude, listen. I mean... Fucking beer muscles, man. Beer muscles are real.
But think about it, that just amplifies what you already think, though.
Yeah. Yes.
Those thoughts are still in you. I don't know why people think they could do things that normally...
Because they saw it on TV, man. I've watched a lot of fucking kung fu when I was younger.
I get mad, you're right.
And when I get mad, boy, back in the day, when I get mad, I fuck around and do a motherfucking crane kick on a motherfucker, crouching tiger, hidden dragon their ass.
Everybody sees some kind of spots or dots or something. I remember my big sister would say, oh, don't get me mad, bro. I see white spots. Like, what is it? Why?
It's like, that's a fucking stroke. What are you talking about? You're about to fucking die. You need to relax. Calm yourself, ma'am.
Like they turn into the Hulk without turning into the Hulk.
Yes.
They get everything except
everything except the strength and the ability to fucking beat somebody up.
Yeah, they get everything else.
They get the aggression and all the dumb shit that goes with it. Oh man, that's old school. Remember? Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Anyway, okay. This was fun. We were just talking shit.
Man, I hope it don't sound like we hate out. Like I think
No.
this is great.
Dude, I don't think we made it seem like we hate anything.
Yeah, in certain circumstances, I would definitely be an advocate for it. I would. You know, like the Oleg thing, I was definitely an advocate.
Yes.
If there's a kid I see that's got potential, it's going to be an advocate. I'm not going to, let me clarify what I meant before. I'm not going to go out of my way to try to, you know, I guess talk to somebody about competition if I don't see any exceptional talent in him.
Right.
He's an older guy.
For sure.
Right?
No,
So
I
he's a
understand.
younger dude, and he's really good. You know, hey man, shit, he probably would do pretty well. He'd do like Gus would do. That's all. You know, which is an appropriate way to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe you didn't think about it, but
And-
I think you do really well. You know, I see how I roll with you. I see how tough you are, bro. You do good against another guy.
There you go.
You'd maul him.
Absolutely. And truly, man, I do kind of circle back to the younger crowd. That is probably the ones, if anyone needs to get a push, it should be the younger crowd because they're still pretty malleable. They're still to the point where the world is their oyster, right? It's a completely open game for them. They can get as good as they want to be, right? So it's like that younger crowd, I get it. But the old fucking the old accountant, you know, who fucking comes in and he hasn't done shit, he's never done anything, and you know.
I don't want to shut this guy. It's funny. If there's one dude that I would want to fight in a competition, I'm not going to shout him out, but he has a school, and he's in another state. But I knew him. I know this guy for a long time. I used to work with him. He's a cool dude, and he's competed. Like we started about the same age. We both started. But see, my path was a hobbyist path, but his path was all competition. And
Really?
He won a lot. He's really good, right? But he's my age now, so we're both the same age.
So you want to see how the fuck you would do?
Yeah, but the problem is now I don't, man. He just got a new hip. He got a new knee. He got
Hey,
a new
look.
Like, oh, dude, man.
Okay, I say this with the utmost respect.
Utmost respect.
No, I'm gonna let
All right, go ahead.
with the utmost respect because whoever this guy is, he knows you. He knows you. Hey man, listen. Fuck your hip, man. Come on, let's do this shit. Let's set it up. I told you, only in America. I'm Don King in this shit. Only in America. Dude, I'm gonna get.
You know what I'm saying,
I need that fucking wig. I need some hair. Shit.
No, but I mean, my point is not taken away from the skill because I'm sure that if
No,
everything was good,
no.
he would probably beat me. He's
For sure.
More, right? But what I'm saying is
Life
now,
life's the shit out of
Yeah,
you.
he's got a bad. I think he had a new
Dude.
knee and a hip. He's just kind of like it's
Dude.
not the same him as it
It-
was.
absolutely
you know,
not.
even 3 years ago, where it's like, oh wow, he's doing really good. So, like that's what glory would I take in you know?
There would be none. There would be no glory. It would just be a fun role.
It'd be fun. I'd like to roll with him.
Because you know what? Because realistically, even with his bionic hip, he could probably do fine. Shit,
fine.
Tom Carlos, that's our homie, man. He's got a whole reconstructed everything. He's like his shit is like adamantium, right? But he's dangerous, dude. He's still our boy, and
He's crazy, dude.
no shit, he's crazy.
one time we were
He's crazy cool though. He's crazy cool,
Yeah, man. If I get my leg like knee barred one more time, man, they're gonna probably just cut it off.
dude. He wasn't fucking around.
I know.
And then I remember like his whole shit exploded on the mat, and they just rebuilt his shit. Yeah, he's beast mode for real, for real. Yeah, I know. So, look, whoever that guy is, I think I have extra miles. So if he doesn't live around here, I think I got extra miles. We can take a companion pass. We can fly out there and let's just fucking let's dojo storm him. And you like, you remember me? And then you just fucking rush on the mat and just start fighting them. It'll be fun.
Cool guy, really good.
It's really cool. So ultimately, what we figured out is nothing. Like always. Like always.
We're just sharing our perspective,
We're
right?
just talking shit, man. This is our perspective. Your perspective may be totally different. And to be perfectly honest, it's just as legitimate as our perspective, right? It's like, I'm not coming off as like, I'm some fucking guru. And I mean, I don't think you are either. It's like, dude, we're just some regular guys, right? We're hobbyists. We love jujitsu, right? Nobody loves jiu-jitsu more than me. I remember saying that a long time ago. He don't love fucking jiu-jitsu more than me, man. I mean, sure, he's like a world champ and all this shit, but I love jiu-jitsu probably more than him. Probably do.
But that would be cool, man. I wish I started as a young man, and you would have all these experiences. That would be cool.
Absolutely, man.
I think
Absolutely.
It's great if you're
if we could go back in time and change shit up, we would do so much. But then the flip side to that is, you might be. You might be getting a new hit.
I got my hobbyist medal.
I will give this little fucking gem to everyone. Anyone who, if you kind of like your life, if you kind of like where you are in life, if you like what you've learned, if you like the experiences you've had, if you like yourself as a person right now, right? Nothing could have been different in your life. So now I'm about to hit this old philosophical shit, right? Nothing could have been different. If anything was different, everything would be different, right? So all the bad shit, all the good shit, all the pain, the heartache, anything that's ever happened to you, good or bad, it made you who you are today, right? And I'm not saying people should, embrace this shit because you got clocked in the fucking head by a baseball bat when you were 12 and now you fucking can't feel your toes. Whatever. I'm not saying that's a great thing, but let's say that's your situation, but you have a family that you love. You have you have a job that you love. Maybe you do great things in the community. That was just part of your story, man. And if anything had been different, everything would have been different. All this shit happens for a reason, man. You can't second guess it. I always say, right? Everything happens for a reason.
And I still kick myself. I had a really, really nice house back in, what was it, early 2000, maybe
right.
2001, down in San Diego.
Boy.
Oh, really nice house, bro. So I'm making really good money back then.
Fuck yeah.
And I regret selling that thing, man. I look at it today, I'm like, oh my God, that's so stupid. But
right.
There's the flip side, man. You can't, I didn't know the future.
Look at it like this, dude. You and I would have never fucking met.
I might not even done jiu-jitsu.
That's what I'm saying. Right?
So maybe I would still have it right now.
Your whole life takes a different trajectory with every single change. Anything's different, everything's different. And if you love this shit, just keep doing what you're doing. Like, all you actually have is today, right? You can plan for the future, but you really only have today. So you do the right thing, do what makes sense today, and push forward. And just, man.
And what makes sense is hitting that like button and that subscribe button. Definitely hit the like. It literally takes like a little click, and then a like.
Hell yeah.
You know what's funny, man? When I'm watching YouTube videos, I watch a guy who hit the like, and I do it now. It's like,
I do too, because you can appreciate that shit.
Appreciate it, yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
It helps them a little bit. It helps the little algorithm. So we appreciate you guys if you do that.
For sure.
On that note, I think we covered everything.
No, we absolutely did, dude. Like I said, I mean, keep showing up, keep freaking training. If the shit's important to you, you'll find a way. If it's not, you'll find an excuse. Everybody, thank you very much for finding a reason to come to watch us and to compete. If you want to compete, we appreciate that shit.
And
thanks.
If you need some motivation, we'll just hook you up with Randy. That's all you need to know.
Randy will yell at you nonstop until you fucking sign up for a competition. Look, dial 1-800, call Randy, and he'll yell at you until you start competing.
You want to see Randy watch last week's episode?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. I think we're good, right?
And yeah, we'll see you guys next week on the pod. And until then, yeah, just keep training.
Us. Call him. Call him up. Call him right now. Call him while the cameras are rolling. Who are we competing for? That's what we're fucking with, right? I'm gonna have one of my rare non-Hawaiian shirt days. You ready, Rod? Start it up. Let's do it.
Got new Gable grip going on. I'm gonna do the OK grip one of these days.
Hell yeah.
I can't catch them.
Don't break your finger.